Okay, here's the problem with targeted individuals who are pursuing a career in law enforcement after they're being targeted. Okay, so first I want to start this video off. I have no problem with the police. If there's a police officer doing his job to provide a means and ends for his family, income, does everything. There's a lot of police officers like that. So a lot of them aren't involved in gang stalking. Okay, so from what we know in gang stalking, there is police law enforcement interaction intervention where they're used as pawns in your targeting at one point or another. So all of the gaslighting gang stalking tactics are meant for you to have an intervention with police. So on paper, you look like a crazy person, you're institutionalized. So right there, there's some type of police involvement. So boom, that's first and foremost. Okay, let's say you always wanted to be a cop and then you became targeted. So with that said, even let's say you always wanted to be a cop, then you became a TI, right? You became targeted by the government. Now, after you're being targeted for several years, you're going through the harassment, it would be kind of weird for you to still want to be a cop because you know for a fact that the cops aren't on your side. They may not be involved, but they're not going to ever help you. They're never gonna allow you to become a cop and talk about gang stalking and then end gang stalking from within. There's two sides: people that are doing the gang stalking and that people that are being gang stalked. And more than often, you see that law enforcement and that other people's testimonies, other than mine, are involved, whether it's corrupt law enforcement, etc. So we know things about also Epstein Island. How police, we're not blaming all police, but they take an oath to uphold the law. But if someone's rich and powerful enough, they'll let them get away with stuff. Okay, this is in every country, every facet of law enforcement. There's bribes. So with that in mind, do you think if a cop will take a bribe from a rich guy that they're gonna come out and help you for your targeting, for your one headlight, for your red car, for your car scratches? They're never gonna do that. They're never gonna jeopardize their well-being for a TI that could be crazy or anything like that. So right there, that shows that the police aren't on your side when it comes to whistleblowing in any capacity. So when you go through this program and you're being silenced, you're being harassed financially, you're being smear campaigned, and you still want to be a police officer, it shows that you have an allegiance to back the blue. Okay, so this is where things get complicated. If you are one of these people, hey, if you have family members that are law enforcement, you love police, okay? The gang stalking thing isn't gonna happen to you. If you're adjacent to law enforcement where you're back to blue, it's not gonna happen, okay? So in no way am I saying, oh, you shouldn't like the cops or anything like that. But if you are someone that really loves cops, you're back the blue, you don't like Black Lives Matter, you're conservative, you're not being gang stalked. They would not allow this to happen to you if you were that connected with police. Because the people that are gang stalking are citizens on patrol. They're family and friends of law enforcement. So if you were someone that loved the police and you became gang stalked, that would make you even more powerful of a whistleblower. So they would avoid that situation whatsoever. Okay, that would create a powerful enemy. So yeah, whatever. You can feel any way you want about police, but when you're being gang stalked by the government and you're still trying to be a cop, like you're actively taking courses to be a cop, you're a fucking perp. You're an undercover TI. You're a fake. You're a narc. Now, why do you tell us that you're doing this when not keep it a secret? That way, if someone investigates you, like someone like me, looks into your name in Google, finds out you went to a police academy, it will blow your cover. But if you come online and you introduce that you're cool with cops and you want to be a cop, you're doing this subtle relay mind control that like, yeah, man, the people gang stalking are the good guys, and TIs, and this is the sentiment of these people that do this, that TIs are dangerous, mentally ill people that are delusional, that are threats to society, need to be watched inside and outside their homes. Okay? So who would do that? It would be law enforcement. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So anyone claiming to be a cop on here, I mean, another thing is you never heard of an ex-police officer saying, hey, I used to be a cop and I'm being gang stalked. You never heard that. You've never heard of the millions of cops. I used to be a police officer. Now I'm being gang stalked after I left the force. It's because they have a code of silence. They may not be directly involved. They have a code of silence. They're never going to take your side. Period. Even if they're not even involved, they're never going to take your side. So if you're actively trying to be a law enforcement agent as a TI, first of all, you're never going to get in. They're never going to let you become one. So why would you pursue it and be so enthusiastic? It's because you're not a real target. I mean, it's just clear as that.